everyone, this is Heather. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I've got a card tutorial for you and we're going to be making this fun shimmery rainbow panda card. For this card I'm going to be using the Wittle Panda die from Poppy Stamps, and he is just absolutely adorable and he is very little but very cute. And for my sentiments I'm going to be using the Hope Your Day Sparkles from the Lawn Fawn A Little Sparkle stamp set. For my card base, I kind of have a blue-green color that I thought would work well with the mix of rainbow colors on my card. So just cut, scored, folded in 8.5 by 11.5. Then I also have a piece of watercolor paper that's cut to 5 1/4 by 4. And I've taken another piece of watercolor paper and I've gone ahead and die cut my Wittle Panda die 6 times. The shimmer watercolors that I'm going to be using are from Premio Artiste. I hope I'm saying that correctly. These are some really pretty shimmer colors that I picked up at Tuesday morning, so they weren't very expensive. I wasn't really sure how much I was going to use them, so I didn't want to pay a lot for a really pricey set. So far, I've been really happy with these. The colors are really shiny and shimmery, and they're really pretty. To start off placing my rainbow stripes onto my watercolor paper, I've taken my ruler and just made a little tick mark at the top and the bottom of my watercolor paper right down the center. I find that when spacing something out like this, it's easier to kind of start in the middle and work your way out rather than to go from left to right or right to left. Then it's, for me anyway, it's a little bit harder for spacing. So starting at the center and working out worked best for me. I'm going to be using a wide kind of fluffy brush for the stripes down the front of my card. I've got a little cup of water. There's no color names for these, so I'll just point to which color I'm going to use. I'm going to start off with this kind of primary yellow color. I'm going to pick some up on my brush. Just make sure I've got a lot of color on there. If you feel like there's too much water on your brush, you can kind of tap it off on your paper towel. So once I have that color picked up, on the left hand side of those little tick marks, I'm going to lay my paintbrush down and just pull a straight line down. And I can go over that as many times as I would like. If I need to go in and pick up some more paint, I can definitely do that until I've got it as bright as I would like. If you get a little puddle down at the end, just kind of take your brush and just kind of sweep it away. Now that I'm happy with that yellow line, I'm going to move on to orange. I'm going to be using this darker orange here. Make sure my brush is clean. Pick up the paint. And I want to leave plenty of space in between these lines because the panda die itself is a little bit wider than these paint stripes. Just going to pull that down, pull that little blob up, and if I need to, pick up a little bit more paint. Just take that line down the card front. Once again, I've cleaned my brush and I'm going down to this red color. Just picking up a lot of that. And then I'm going to go to the left of the orange and drag that down. Same thing, just kind of going over it several times until I'm happy with the depth of the color. Now that I have my colors laid down on my left hand side, I'm ready to start going the other direction. And these do take a little while to dry, so I'm going to take my heat gun on a low setting and just dry this paint just so that I don't accidentally smear it. With that side dry, again I'm making sure that my paintbrush is nice and clean, and I'm going in with this dark green. I'm going to lay that down to the left hand side of the center mark that I made. So I'm just continuing to move across the card. I've laid down the green and the blue, and I did want to show you a little tip. If you make your line a little wider than you want, make sure you've got a clean brush and kind of go along the edge, and you can kind of pick up a little bit of that paint and make your line just a little bit thinner if you've gotten it too thick. And the very last color that I'm going to add is this nice pretty purple color. And with those 3 stripes finished, I'm going to go back to my heat gun and dry those stripes. So I hope you can see that really pretty shimmer that those watercolors add. Next, I'm ready to move on to my little pandas. I'm moving on to a smaller number 3 brush, and I'm going to pick up the same colors that I used for my stripes, and on each panda, I'm going to color in around the eye, his ears, his nose, and his belly. With those sections colored, I'm going to take a pale gray marker and just color in the center of his eyes. And then before I clean the brush off, I'm going to use each of those colors and just add a little bit of splatter to my background. So I've done the green bear, I'm going to add a little green splatter. I'm going to move on to the purple bear, add a little bit of purple splatter. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up and I'll be right back. So here's my finished background with all the splatters on it. I think it just adds like a nice painterly touch. And all my little pandas are colored in. Using black memento ink, I'm going to stamp the Hope Your Day Sparkles in the upper left-hand corner of the background. I've erased the pencil marks off my base and I've added some tape runner to the back, so I'm going to center that on my card front. I've applied foam tape to the back of each panda. Just going to place them in a row across my card on their coordinating colors, and they're probably going to overlap just a little bit in some places. And add the blue and the purple. And here is our finished card. I think this is a really fun way if you've got just a single small die or a single small stamp to use it multiple times. I really like the kind of trendy rainbow look and the pretty shimmer and sparkle that those watercolors add. I think this is just a really fun birthday card. I hope that you enjoyed this card tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to check out my channel and subscribe. And I hope you have a sparkly day. Bye.